Then I have to travel out by from here.
All right. Okay, we'll finish it soon. Yeah. Okay.
No, no,
Well,
that's okay. In any case, 40's life is never.
yeah. Okay. Welcome everyone to NMBF Coffee Chats. This is the place where we meet twice or so, 2 times a week to discuss different issues and topics that affect our living as as people in this nation. Essentially, NMBF Coffee Chats is a Christian forum, but we also discuss topics for the society as our Lord Jesus Christ has taught us to serve one another, and we consider it a great joy and privilege to serve people. So, friends, today we've gathered here to discuss this topic of cyber crime awareness. It is really a growing threat day by day, and it has been described as far greater than any other scam we know because there's just so much of variations to it. There's so many faces, layers to this. It's a very complex scam that keeps building itself like some AI model, and getting smarter and better and more deadly actually. So it's very important that we keep updating ourselves. Do not think that after you've attended this meeting, you're equipped. Keep learning, keep growing. Yeah. We want to thank our esteemed speaker who's here today with us. And I call upon Billy Sam Verghese to introduce him. Please remember that we'll have a initial session where our speaker will talk for a length of time, after which we will go into the Q&A session. So kindly keep your questions on hold, or you could put it on the chat and we'll address that later. Okay? Over to Billy to introduce our speaker.
Yeah, it's my great privilege to introduce a good friend of mine, and I know Colonel Binoj for many years. Colonel Binoj, I came to first know him, I think, somewhere around 2005 or 2006, when he was the in charge of the, you know, yeah, they were digitizing, or they were making the entire canteen tea stores department, and Uh, in that capacity, when he was a major, right, and posted here, I came to know him, and we've been good friends. And we've recently also, I think, most recently, I met him when when I was posted in Delhi, and when he also was posted in Delhi, and that time he was with the military intelligence in a cybersecurity role, right, and we still maintain touch. And I think from the military, when he was deputed to UIDA, right, as the Director of Technology Cybersecurity. We were in touch, and we had good interactions. Even many. He's a guy whom I always fall back to on two things. One is career guidance. He's a guy who helped me to also understand the importance of career guidance. We have done career guidance programs together. And the second thing is any tech related, especially hacking or any cybersecurity issue, he's the guy I go to. All right. And he's been very, always been prompt and responsive. If you consider his history also, after his graduation, and he, in 1992, January, he joined the Indian Military Academy, and he was commissioned as an officer of the Indian Army in 1993. And he has been serving on I think, his role before retirement with the Army and the government. He served on deputation from the Indian Army as the Director of Technology for Unique Identification Authority of India, UIDI, Aadhaar, as we know, and he was specially concerned with cybersecurity. And when he was commissioned as an officer, he was commissioned with the Bihar Regiment as an infantry officer, and he's not just a tech guy or a technical. He's a pure infantryman, right? Um, and as an infantryman, he served in counter insurgency operations in Manipur, Nagaland, Assam, Jammu and Kashmir. And apart from that, he's a Kargil veteran. He was a veteran with an experience in Operation Vijay, which all of us know as the Kargil War, right? And Operation Parakram, then Operation Hifazat, and a lot of related military actions at the international border. So he's one of our, you can say, the Rakshak, right? Bharat Rakshak, who has been on the front line, at the international border, both at the border at with Pakistan as well as the border with China, right? And in as an infantry officer, he also is a war wounded officer. He sustained injuries in a military operation in Jammu and Kashmir, and and after that also he has been both played more of infantry roles as well as roles in information technology. And when it comes to information technology, he has been he had placed various roles in information systems, cybersecurity, e-governance initiatives under various assignments with the Indian Army and also with Ministry of Information Technology and Ministry of Defense. And he has been an officer who's an expert in cybersecurity, and he's also a cybersecurity evangelist. A very promoting the importance of cybersecurity and cybersecurity of systems, and also had various appointments as an IT implementer, IT advisor, cybersecurity auditor, cyber forensics also, and cyber forensics charges, and cyber governance and policy officer, commanding officer also of CERT, and he has also played important roles in cyber intelligence with the Indian military intelligence, and even cyber or physical systems implementation, various roles in there. So he has about 30 years of experience in the military as infantry role as well as technological different roles. If you look at his background also, he comes from, his ethnic origins are from Kerala, but I think he's brought up and educated in Bangalore. His wife, Elizabeth, is a teacher, and he has a daughter, Tabitha, and a son, Aaron. And if you look at his qualifications also, his basic education was BSc Electronics, and he has a diploma in computer applications. Then he also did a postgraduate diploma in information security. He has done an MA in human rights, MA in psychology, MPhil in psychology, and MS. He has an MS in digital forensics and information assurance from the prestigious National Forensic Science University, and he has a gold medal for that. And in addition to that, he's a lawyer also. He has an LLB from Gujarat University, LLM, and if I'm correct, he's completed his PhD also in law. If I'm right, is that correct,
And I'm
Binoj?
pursuing a PhD.
Pursuing. He's pursuing his PhD in law. So he's a person who has a rich experience from a variety, and also other than his military experience, and also he has been speaking in different schools and different communities as a motivational speaker. So he's a motivational speaker. He's a career guidance expert. He's a lawyer. He's also into cybersecurity. So a person with rich experience, and this particular session we'll be talking more in terms of cybercrime. Yeah. Over to you, Abhijit.
Yeah, thank you, Billy. Yeah, over to Colonel Binoj. Yeah, please, sir.
Billy left out that I'm also a staunch USI, and wherever I go, I take up the job of evangelizing, and
Oh, we are on a secular for.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
So that is also part of our
yeah,
lifetime, which I have achieved through my service. Yeah.
right.
So what I will do is I will take you through to a presentation, and before that, I would like to give a small video just to make a prelude of what the cyber hacking environment is all about. So I'll share the screen first, and then probably then take you through the video, and then we will. I'm very sure at the end of this talk you will be able to um, take a lot of cues and be secure on the cyber domain with respect to personal concern is concerned. So I'll just share my screen. I'll play this video. I want you to take the cues from the video which is big. And this character is an IPS officer, ex IPS officer, who decided to come out and provide his information to everybody so that the whole world is aware. So this there is no copyright on this video, so we can actually watch it. It's there on YouTube also.
Born and brought up, born and brought, born and brought up in Kerala. I'm 73 years old. July 9th. That was a Sunday. It was around, I think, 5:45 when I got a call on my mobile. In fact, I was sleeping when I heard the call. When I checked, it was from an unknown number. Normally, I don't receive calls from unknown numbers. So I kept it aside. I switched on the mobile data. One message was from an unknown number. When I opened that message from that number, it was from one of my friends, Mr. Venukumar, who I had not contacted for maybe 1 or 2 years. I was going through the message. Meanwhile, the WhatsApp call came from that number. I immediately picked it up. I could clearly distinguish my friend's voice. He was asking, "You're still in Calicut?" Yeah, I said. "Then where's your daughter right now? Is she in Gurgaon?" Then I said, "No, recently she has shifted to Singapore." Then he was asking about some of my colleagues who had worked with us. Most of them are retired. After all these pleasantries, then he came to the subject. He said he's in a fix. He's on his way to Mumbai, presently at Dubai airport, waiting to board the Mumbai flight. He said he needed the money for the treatment of his sister-in-law, who is admitted in a Mumbai hospital and whose surgery is fixed for the day. The money needed to be deposited with the hospital. That's why he was asking help from me. He tried to contact his relatives first, but some of them expressed their inability. They didn't have sufficient fund, and some numbers could not be reached because, it was early in the morning. When I expressed my apprehension about making a payment to an unknown number, he switched to the video call and his image came in front of me, which only the face was visible, but it was very clear and very distinct, and it was no doubt Mr. Gunakumar. After I made the transfer of 40,000 to the account given, immediately he was asking for a second payment of 30,000. That is the moment when I got my suspicion aroused. I looked for Mr. Venukumar's number in my contact list. Then I called his number. Then he picked up. Hi, it's and he sounded a little bit surprised. I'm making a call at that time. Rupees 40,000. No, I didn't ask anything. It was not me. When he said that he has not made any call, and when he said that he has not asked any money from me, then I knew that I have fallen victim for a fraud.
Yeah, Abhijit brother, was the audio visible? Well,
Yes, yes, yes. We could see it clearly.
I had on the
Yeah,
audio
yeah.
is bad, so
No, no, we could hear it very clearly. No problem.
okay, yeah. So I just thought I'll make a prelude of what is the present scenario today. And the cyber criminal is actually well
So,
equipped.
will you stop the screen share while talking?
Yeah,
Because
I'll
okay,
just,
go ahead.
yeah. So the cyber criminal is well equipped to actually plan a strategic attack on individuals. If you see in this video, The person knew all the history. It knew where he knew where the daughter was, and and he himself confessed that the daughter is moving to Singapore. He conveyed information that was similar to what he enjoyed as in his life. And then even the video call that was made was actually the photograph of Venukumar in motion. So it is so easy on in artificial intelligence today to create video, and many of you would have received calls, one blind call where you say hello hello and then you say wrong number and cut. 30 seconds of your recording is more than enough to recreate back the larynx or the vocabulary of words of a particular person, and that sample is enough to make a complete a library of words, and the complete sentences can be recreated using the same voice sample that is captured. Now, in my presentation, I will try and go through it and make it more practical so that along with me, you can also keep doing what I am trying to tell you so that it will be of use to each one of us as we go through. So now I share my screen for the presentation. But I suggest that if there is any doubts, please note down and then we will be able to. Yeah. Is the full screen visible, brother, now? Abhijit?
Yes, yes, we can see it.
Yeah. Okay. So, as far as cybercrime is concerned, it is here to stay. The sophistication of these attacks are happening in a very dynamic manner, but yet the crime is going to stay, and all of us are going to fall victims in some form or the other. I was just mentioning, crime and its redressal are nothing like it's like a cat and a mouse race. Sometimes the cat is ahead and then the mouse is, as we see in the Tom and Jerry cartoons. Most of the time it is the criminal who is ahead of all of us. He knows the strategy, he's already knows what the market is, what are the security measures, what are the new type of countermeasures. So he makes a counter to countermeasure before he actually gets onto the scene. Just a minute. Yeah. So we will cover our presentation in this form. We'll just discuss what is cybercrime all about. And alongside, I'll keep giving you tips because then that will be of much use to us as we go ahead. Yeah. Then we'll see what are the threats in terms of hacking, malware, phishing. Then we are more concerned about our shopping that we do on the internet. So we'll take up that as a case. Then we'll talk about public Wi-Fi, password, how to make a password. What is your mobile all about? And then of course the Aadhaar, because Aadhaar has become a primary document for everybody. So how to secure your Aadhaar? And most of the crimes actually disseminate from the Aadhaar. So hence it is a source of threat also. Now, in so far as a user is concerned, this is the number of threats that one has in terms of the cyber domain or the internet as such. Is the slide visible? Everyday threat to internet users?
Yes,
Abhijit?
yes.
Yeah. So each one has got a meaning, so let us not go into each one's meaning, but by the word of it, by the meaning of the word, you can make out. For example, a keylogger is nothing but a malicious code that sits within a computer which records all your key typing or whatever you type, even a password you type, it is captured and taken off. So in with respect to the number of types of threats that we have, it is only increasing per day. So probably if I were to slash this slide about a year later, I would have a more number of these yellow spots that you see. So we got to live in this world with this cyber as a threat to us. Though it is an enabler, making it easy, most of you pensioners may be using the Jeevan Praman, that is, your life certificate. Earlier for pensioners, you had to go to the bank. Nowadays, you have a life certificate where nowadays we have the Jeevan Praman application where you have a face authentication through Aadhaar, which is done. Most of us used to do a lot of document submission while doing KYC. Now there is no need of this. So then there are digital means of KYC. So why is the cybercrime awareness most important? Because this is a growing trend. It is going to grow. The risk is very, very high. And presently, the police or the law enforcement agencies do not have that much of teeth or that much of technology to actually evade this threat. And most of these cyber crimes happen because of human error, because of our own, we being deceived, or we getting fooled, or we giving away the OTP, or we giving away a login credential, or we installing something in our mobile that makes a copy of it to the other person, to the hacker. Now, irrespective of that, we need to actually encourage reporting. Most of us do not report if there is a crime that occurs to us, even if it is, let's say, a 30 rupee loss on our digital media, on our internet banking, or on QR code, or whatever it is, or any such mail. It is good to report, and there are portals available in the government of India today to actually report. So we should have. And in fact, cybercrime.gov.in under the Ministry of Home Affairs was formed very recently. But by virtue of the number of details that are coming in these days, about 3 to 4,000 numbers are being disabled of criminals, mobile numbers are being disabled, so many websites are being taken down, and so many things. So unless you report, the awareness in the country will not come up, and then we will lose out on the thing. Now, what does it entail? Today, you see everybody, nobody carries cash nowadays. Digital money is the norm today. So, just because we are going online in so many other aspects in India, the number of crime is much easier. I just saw a cartoon about 2 days back in which some looters or bandits were holding a gun at the bank manager's head to take money from the bank. So the bank manager says, brother, it would have been easy that if you would have gone online, you would have got more money. By virtue of you coming to a branch, you would only get what I have as currency, cash currency in my wallet, in my vault. But if you take it online, you will get more money. That is the amount of uh, money that is involved in and fast money. Secondly, is the aspect that there is a total risk. The risk is actually with us, and the hacker has no risk at all because he knows that he will not be caught or he will go scot free because the population is so high, the police to population ratio is too less. So you will find all the activities is unnoticed or cannot be culpable or cannot go on. Now, if you see here, in 2000, the I4C is the organization that the Ministry of Home Affairs has made very recently. It's called India Cyber Crime Coordination Center. I'll tell you about it in the later part also. They have seen a 114% increase from year 2021-23 and about 61% increase in crime from 2022. Now, CERT India, Computer Emergency Response Team India, is the global Indian organization, part of the government, to be responsible for cyber incident. But they can't do anything when a cyber crime has taken place. So that becomes a police activity. So they have been reporting about 1.4 lakh. Now there is a foundation called the Future Crime Research Foundation, which has given the statistics. As we speak now, they say about 1,000 crimes per hour is what is happening on the internet, and all these are money related. Who are behind these crimes? Okay, can you see a photograph right now, Abhijit brother?
Yes, yes, we can.
Can you identify what this photo is or where this photo is? Can anyone in the group identify where this
Anyone?
photo is? Have anyone seen this photograph on the internet? Even in newspapers, it used to appear a long time ago. Okay, right. This is nothing but a place called Hakivilla in Romania. The economy of this complete place is driven out of cybercrime. And if you were to drive in, you can, there are videos available on the YouTube. If you go and see this place, every second car is a BMW or a one of those high Porsche cars which is there. And the job of this place in Romania is nothing but hacking. So that's why it's called Hacker Villa. And this is how our street looks like. Those pakke buildings with a lot of well-dressed people going around, and 80% of them whom you see on the road in Hacker Villa would be actually a hacker whose job is to get money and drive the economy of that particular state. Okay, this is as far as Romania is concerned. Have you heard of this place called Jamtara? Many of you would have seen the serial in Netflix. Now, Jamtara is in the border between Jharkhand and West Bengal, and it's a known place. In fact, they say per square feet of land in that village, there are about 5 SIM cards or 5 connections. So you get these calls, आपकी क्रेडिट कार्ड का नंबर नया आने वाली है, तो आप हमें अपना ओटीपी बताइए. Or from the banks, those bank crime calls, all these emanate from a place called Jamtara, which is in India. And even police cannot enter there. But as soon as they enter, there's a forest co-located, and they run into those places there. Yeah. Okay. Now this is Jamtara's shot, which you see here. You see these houses? There are no more thatched houses there, or those tin roofed houses in Jamtara. You'll find only houses like this, and they all well experts in hacking. They can give you KYC documents. They can give you OTP sort of frauds, and you have those gift vouchers coming in. All these actually emanate from Jamtara. I wish you could go and see the serial called Jamtara on Netflix, which is there. You will realize the introduction itself is quite threatening. There's a lady who comes and says, "Abhi hum सब सबका number आएगा." That's what the lady says. So everybody is part of. Now, in a recent survey, it has been found Jamtara is just one. There are large number of villages or places in India where these cybercrime hubs are being done. And unfortunately, police are not able to actually get into. In fact, I had been to recently to a place called Nu, which is in the part of the list here. You would see Nu here. Nu. And you will not believe, if as an alien you enter that place, they look at you with a lot of suspicion, as though you are a law enforcement agency or a police who has come. And they keep shadowing you till the time you are out from that village in Nu. So if that be the case of cyber criminals in a country like ours, to just imagine how easy the victims would be falling. And every day, there are psychologists associated with them, there are technical people associated with them, there are bank people associated with them, who could even tell them all the details. There are telecom service providers associated with them. So it is a syndicate which is existing across the country. So hence we cannot say that we are out from. Now, how do they plan these attacks? First, they decide, okay, I have Mr. Ram Singh here, or I say Mr. Dinesh rather. Dinesh Acha. He is a retired railway employee. Okay. Now, I know now what are the means that he uses, what are the aspects that he is exposed to the internet, or how easy can he come on a cyber crime. So that's the. Then they take out information about him, like we saw in that video. They took out the complete information. Then they watch their habits, and then they plan the attack in a very sophisticated manner. That you will never come to know that you have fallen a victim till the time your money is out. Yeah. Now, hacking is is actually not concerned with us as users, but many of the places where we have given our credentials or where we have entrusted our money, banking, mutual fund organizations, let's say to a medical store, all these people are subject to hacking or stealing of data from there. Now, just because of that aspect, because their systems are not strong, we become victims at a later point of time. Now, I'll just tell you a small incident which happened on a, we use QR codes very often, you know. Okay, by the way, just to put you into perspective, smishing is nothing but SMS scamming or SMS crimes that are taking place. Wishing is nothing but voice calls that come to you. QR code scams are quishing, which is there. Now, I'll just tell you, I was traveling to Lucknow a few days ago. So I took a taxi from my house in, say, where I live in Hennur. From there, I took a taxi to the airport in Bangalore. And and generally, we don't carry cash. We say QR code dena, hum scan karke we paid money to them. So after I completed my trip, am I audible, brother?
Yeah,
Yes,
yes, you're awesome.
Yeah. So as soon as
Yes.
I traveled, I took a Uber and I traveled up to the airport, and it was early morning around 4 o'clock. So we are in a hurry to actually pay, and the guy is also in a hurry to take your money and then go away because he's got another customer to take, or he is already on the queue to take a next customer. So I asked him, भैया वो QR code देना. So he says, sir, it is pasted on the back of my seat. You can just scan and take it. So I scanned the QR code and I was about to click pay. I realized there was something wrong or something which I felt amiss. So I asked him, are you Ramesh? He said, no, sir, I'm Siddiq. I said, your QR code is showing Ramesh. It so happened that the customer previous was a rogue element. He pasted his bank QR code over the QR code of the driver, and if by mistake would have said pay, you know, and my money would have gone there. And mind you, once you make a transaction over an NPCI switch, it is very difficult to get back your money, whether it be Google Pay or Phone Pay or Paytm Pay or whichever way it is. It's very, very difficult because the man is waiting for that remittance. Once he remits, he takes that money and converts it into some wallet or then takes it into different payment gateways, different out, he exits that money out fast. And then for the banks to track transaction IDs across different banks or different payment gateways like or the payment aggregators like Paytm, we have Phone Pay, Google Pay, all these, it's very, very difficult. So this is the status of what is the present sort of a crime. Now, that's why you would see that when we go to a hotel, generally they say, scan your QR code and then you will be able to see the menu card. One has to exercise lot of caution. The QR code will give you a link. Inevitable, if you have to still click on that link, verify the link before you actually click that link and go into the website. There might be malicious codes also that come, you know. So these QR codes, you go to a doodwala, he will say pay it on QR code. So you have to be very careful, check, verify before you pay, because once you make the transaction, it is you who has paid the transaction, who has made the transaction. So it is very difficult to take ownership by the bank or by somebody else. You know? So one has to be very careful. Now, I'm coming to a very important thing called the phishing. Is the slide visible? Phishing?
yes,
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Phishing is nothing but you would receive lot of these emails, in your inbox. You would be receiving lot of WhatsApp messages with links, which by clicking you would realize that there is a malicious activity behind it. So I'll I'll after we see these slides, we will identify how to identify a mail, how to ensure that you're not going into a wrong mail. Now, wrong attachment or a link, or for that matter, for a wrong for being for installing something on your mobile or on your laptop. Or mind you, today a laptop is as good as a mobile is as good as a laptop, because you do most of your activities there, and most of your apps are there in your banking app, your mutual fund apps, your investment apps. Many of us use the uh, purchasing apps, Amazon, Flipkart, Big Basket, Blinkit, all these apps. So remember one thing, that these apps are there for our convenience. But if you engross into a crime using these apps, then the app owners don't take responsibility, because they says that we have secured it for you. You did a foolish act, of passing money. Now, the ultimate intent is to gain your money. So that is the intention. Now, just 2 days back, there was a victim in Bangalore who received a call. 2 days prior, this lady received an SMS saying that you have a courier that has come in. To track this courier, please link on this click link on please click on this link. And after she clicked on the link, nothing happened. So she thought, okay, this may be a something wrong with my internet connection or something wrong with my mobile. So, and then she left it as it is. 2 days later, 2 days later, she receives a call, and the caller deliberately kept the lady on conversation. नहीं मैडम, आपका कुरियर आया हुआ है, आपको पता नहीं है, उसके अंदर बहुत कुछ है. In the meantime, an OTP SMS comes, and this OTP now gets forwarded to the criminal. Now we will see how to check your mobile if there is a call forward or not. That we will see. But then phishing is, there are fake websites also. Now we have another very bad practice of opening Google search and then typing, okay, bankofindia.com or Bank of India, and whatever is the first link that comes there, we click on it. They also may be phishing links. Remember, like for example, you type Bank of Baroda, the first link that appears on Google, you generally you click it, and then it takes you to a suspicious website. Similar is we ask for a call center number. Give me the call center of Amazon. The first number that appears on the Google link, we generally call it up. It is not so. Amazon does not have a call number at all, a telecalling number. They only call backward. They don't call. You can't call inward to Amazon. So similarly, you have to be very careful. Mind you, even the spelling, Bank of Baroda, DA. Now, A may be a different, an ampersand A, or a tilde A, or something like that. It will be a bit different. So it is better to copy all the bank URLs, as we call it, or the link, the website address, and paste it in a notebook, or write it in a notebook in your paper and keep it. You can make a notepad in your laptop, or on somewhere. You can save it on a message in your WhatsApp and keep, and ensure that you copy that link from there, and never type on Google, say State Bank of India online, and then you click on the first link that appears. That's the most dangerous thing one can do. So these are also phishing. Now, you may be receiving a lot of mails. We'll see a demonstration also. I'll give you 5 indicators as to how to see whether a mail that has come is suspicious, or whether it is legitimate mail or not. The first indicator is the subject line. If the subject line is not related to the body, you know, then you need to have a suspicion, or something that is very attractive. Nobody will send a mail saying that you have won a lottery or things like that. So be very careful. The second thing is the salutation. Now, if it is from a bank, the bank will always write "Hello Binoj," or "Hello Dinesh," or "Hello Shiva." They will never write "Hello customer." They will never write. If it is a bank sent email to you, they will never write a generic salutation. Now, secondly is if there is a link within a mail, see it with lot of suspicion. Lastly, now if you see here, it says a Gmail ID, and it says and now it says make it happen. Now there is no relationship between the logo down below and the mail that is sent. For example, if you have a mail that comes from, let's say, Bank of Baroda, it will bear the logo of Bank of Baroda, and the mail ID also will tally. It cannot happen that the mail ID is different. Now I'll just show you an example. Now I'll open my mailbox now. Yeah, I just got this mail in my inbox. I have forwarded back because it went into the junk folder. I got it here. Now, if you see here, this mail has come from Binoj Koshy at the rate rediffmail.com. Now, if you see here, show header, click on the show if you're using Rediff. Otherwise, you can click on this. If you're using Google Mail, Gmail, you should see there is a small triangle there. If you click on it, you will see reply to or reverse path. That mail ID and this mail ID should be the same. The mail from and the reply to or the reverse path should be always the same. In case of Gmail, I'll show it to you. I'm opening a mail here. See this small triangle here, show detail. If you get a personal mail, if you get a personal mail like this, you will see here there is a reply to, from, and this is the reply to. This mail ID should be the same as the sender's from email ID. Okay, so this is very important when you get an email to see how whether the link is, whether the mail is original or not. Now, most of you have your email IDs, right? Like mine is binojkoshi1 at the rediffmail.com. If your mail has been compromised anywhere, so you can visit a website called haveibeenpwned.com. Can you see this website? I'm visited the
Yes,
website.
please.
Good.
Yes.
Just take your mail ID and paste it there and check if your mail has been pawned. Now I'm checking mine. Yes, it has. My mail ID has been compromised at many places. Where all? In LinkedIn. See here? So many places my mail ID. Domino's got hacked in April 2021. That time my mail ID got compromised, and also my now if your mail ID appears like this, like how it is, otherwise it will appear green and clean. If it doesn't appear green and clean, just go to haveibeenpawned.com. I'll send the PPT across so you'll be able to see it. Paste your mail ID there and check. So you will realize. So that means these websites have been hacked, and I lost what all? Like in LinkedIn, in 2016, I lost my email ID to that hack when LinkedIn got hacked, remember. And I also lost my password. Now, my concern here is the websites do get hacked or service providers do get hacked. But the concern is we generally lose our password, let's say in a hack like this, where in LinkedIn I've lost my password. Most of us use the similar type of password, or we have a pattern of making a password. It is, Rama at the rate 12345. So I know I use a name and I use another rate and I use an 12345. So This is a very dangerous thing. Firstly, if you're part of the list, you please change your mail ID password. Also, remember that have a password that is different for each of the domains that you use. Even if it is banks, let's say we've got 4 bank accounts, make 4 different types of passwords. Now, how to make a password? I will tell you later. You'll be able to see it. So far, so good. You understood how this to check your mail ID? Yeah. Abhijit
Yes,
brother, there?
yes,
Yeah. Now, you would see a lot of attachments. Click here. Now, I've got a mail. See below mail. Please click on this link to intimate your claim. What was it? I was getting some reward or something like that. Now, these links are also very dangerous. Firstly, you have to think before you click. Number one. You still have a suspicion, just copy this link. And there's a website called virustotal.com. You can note it down, virustotal.com. You can upload files. This is nothing but a virus checking agency. And I paste this URL here. I paste it and I say, and I enter. So now it will start checking whether this link is malicious or not. Now it says out of 96 service providers, 6 of them have tagged it as a malicious link. Can you see it here? So, any email you get, even if it is an attachment from a bank, copy it. Sometimes you will not see the thing. Like, for example, I'll open a Gmail. I'll open a Gmail. Sometimes you'll see something like this. So, here, can you see it? Nalcon Goa 2025, like this. Click out the announcement trainings so far. What you have to do is do a right click and say copy link address and then take it to virus total and then paste that link there. Now it will tell me whether this link is legitimate or whether it is suspicious. I'll do it again. When you get a mail like this, sometimes you will see a link written HTTP, HTTPS or whatever. Sometimes you'll see a text with a blue highlight. That means this is a hyperlink, as we call it in computer language. Just do a right click on this hyperlink and say copy link address and then go paste it. Now, here it says it is clean. Can you see it? I pasted this URL here and I said check. It says it is clean. So now we've learned how to see a email, whether it is whether your email has been compromised anywhere or your email ID has been compromised. Even Big Basket got compromised some time ago. Let me see if Big Basket is not there in this list. Is it there? Big Basket? Not sure. Let me check once more. Oh no, I use Gmail there. Let me check on Gmail. So both my email IDs have actually been compromised. So have I been not found? If your email address appears here as red, so first of all change your email ID password and also wherever you have accounts, be careful to go and change it. So these are the 2 websites where you can use and they are legitimate and there is no worry on. Okay. Any questions here anybody wants to ask? Or shall we reserve the question, brother, later?
yeah, later is better.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Now, now many of us do online shopping. So here I would like to caution you on one thing. Always again, don't type Amazon on Google and click on the first link that appears. That is again dangerous. Write the address of the shopping site and keep it handy or paste it from a notepad or write it as a WhatsApp message and WhatsApp it to yourself, copy it from there. And secondly, ensure that any shopping mail always look for the HTTPS. S. If you are not able to see that link, just click on that secure key. This link here, you will be able to see. So always visit an HTTPS. It should be a secure website. S stands for secure. HTTP is non-secure websites. HTTPS is secure website. Secondly, there are chances of your credentials getting lost in terms of your payment methodology. So my suggestion is always use a postpaid wallet or use a credit card, because there again you're you are not exposing an account which has got a lakh rupee bank balance on the internet. You're still exposing a credit card where you still have to pay. And remember, credit card people are very particular in terms of OTP are concerned, because they know that if a fraud occurs by virtue of their error, then the Reserve Bank is not going to spare them. They have to reverse back the money to the customer. So a credit card is more stronger in terms of payment security than a debit card or an internet banking, or for that matter, even those those wallets which we use, which just may we store money. There are postpaid wallets that are there in which you can limit and only transfer that much money which is part of that billing in the Amazon or Flipkart or Big Basket. Another bad habit that we have is we give permission to store our credentials. So next time it is only an OTP. The CVV is not asked. Like in Big Basket, they provide this option of storing the CVV. There is a three-digit number that we give when we use our banking cards. That is called the CVV number. That number gets stored. So many a time when we do a Big Basket, we only swipe and the OTP comes and we only pay through the OTP. So that is the one factor of authentication. The second factor of authentication that existed was that CVV number, which we have asked the bank to store. Don't go in for those options when you do a online purchase or a online when you're using your credit card. Credit card. So these are the golden word. Number one, have a single credit card attached to your payment payment methodology in a particular app where you're using, or in a or in a apps like Big Basket or Blinkit or Swiggy or Zomato or whatever. Secondly, don't store your CVV on the website. Don't trust them with the CVV. However, there are bank regulations now that the CVV stored by these service providers need to be secured and kept. But still, I would not trust, and we should not trust them also, because at the end of the day, it is our money that goes, and then we'll have to fight for our refunds. So be very careful while you do this, passing the credential. Now, if you see here, I've put two samples of text messages that has come to your mobile. Most of you receive such messages almost on a daily basis. Now if you see the left one, yeah, first thing first, many of these numbers, many of these things come as VXII, DBICICI, or VX HSBC, or it comes as EYEX SBI, things like that, codes like that. But remember, there is also a number attached. So you can see the number of. And RBI has taken out a strict regulation that all these SMSs that come to you should bear a prefix 160. So you can see the number. When you click on the name, you can see the number of from where that SMS has come. So it should have a prefix of 160. If the prefix is not 160, that means there is a the message is wrong. Now, in these two sample messages, if you see, it is HTTP. Can you see it?
Yes, we
This,
can see.
Yeah.
pardon?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
Yeah.
I can see.
Yeah. So that means this is not trustworthy. Bank will never send you an SMS with a link with HTTP. It will only have HTTPS in it. It will only have HTTPS. Sometimes you receive You get a SMS from Blue Dot that you, press this link to track your thing. As I told you, first of all, you should copy that and check whether the link is original or whether it is illegitimate at the virus total portal. Or what you can also do is copy this URL and take it to your laptop and then test it from your laptop whether this link is correct or not. Now, the second aspect is you will see tiny URLs. You will not see www.icicibank.com. You will see www.tyurl.icic. Now, they are legitimate, okay? But yes, whenever you see a TY URL, tiny URL as they call it, be very cautious, double cautious of it. Because even a hacker, these tiny URLs can be purchased. So you can purchase such a link. These are nothing but just because they don't want to write icicibank.com/login/homepage/secure/ so and so, do they purchase a short form of that particular URL. That's what is called a tiny URL. Next time when you get links, you will be able to see it. What I'm telling you. Now you see here. Now this is another message that has come. Your new statement of credit card ending so and so is ready to be viewed online bank. Second time you get a message. But the third time you see the link that has come is an HTTP link and not a HTTPS link. So be very careful again when you get such messages and when you try and click on it. Okay. Now, coming to public Wi-Fi, many of us are fond of traveling. We go to a hotel, we ask for the password, username. My suggestion is in a mobile which has got your secure applications like your banking application or any of those mutual fund statement applications or some service provider application which is secure in nature where there is a financial involved. Don't use that mobile on public Wi-Fi. Nothing is free in today's world. If they are giving you a free Wi-Fi connection, even if it is a hotel, there is something that is amiss, which may be operated by somebody else or which may be you. So, if you have to perforce use a Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi somewhere, there's something called a VPN or a virtual private network. You can purchase it from Airtel. There are other service providers where legitimately you can buy for a month and use a VPN connection. Use a VPN connection. So first you connect over a VPN, virtual private network, and then go to the website of your bank or your app. Connect to the internet using the VPN of the or the Wi-Fi using the VPN, virtual private, and they are available on the net. You can buy them, but be sure check where the credentials of that VPNs are there. There are a list of good VPN. So India's got a website in which it has listed out all the allowed VPNs in the country, so that you can use. Now, one more aspect with regard to security, which I thought I will give you a small hint. Long time ago, about 5 6 years ago, two Air Force officers, I mean, oh, sorry, 2010 rather, two Air Force officers got arrested and they were taken to Tihar jail and they are still in jail for a crime. When they investigated, when they found out that the Banaras blast took place in 2010, in December 2010. If your email is hacked, you will not even come to know. There's something called a draft folder, which we never access in our email. I'll show you the draft folder. I go to my Rediff. You see, there's a draft folder. Now, the criminal was actually here. I've got legitimate mails. I don't have anything suspicious here. What the criminal was doing was they hacked an Air Force officer's email ID, and they had now in the case of a blast crime, there's a lot of coordination that is important between the person. Detonators have to reach, explosives have to reach. So what they were doing was they hacked this Air Force officer's email ID and they were putting messages. So the password was known to both the person in Delhi and the person in Banaras. And the message, okay, today I am sending 10 patties. This was written in the draft folder and the email was closed. So the other guy in Banaras used to open the same email ID and read the message and then delete it. So most of us don't access our draft folder in our email. Have a habit of opening it up, seeing your draft folder because this is very important in terms of securing your email ID. Because today all of our correspondence is happening, even with the bank, we use email ID. So security of your email ID is very important. Now, while using email, I would suggest that most of you should enable. I think most of you use Gmail account. So I will show you on Gmail how to enable two-factor authentication. Open your Gmail like this. Go to this icon where you have and say manage your Google account. Click on manager. I'll do it again. So probably I'm too fast. It will be difficult. Just open your Gmail account like this. You will see a photograph or whatever your Gmail account. Just click on that Gmail account. Go to manage Gmail account. Go to security. Here, you will see what is known as two-factor authentication. That means now here you are supposed to give your password and you have to go in. Once you have done that, it is asking me for a code. Anyway, what I suggest is just go and play around, you'll be able to see it. Add a mobile number there, and whenever there is a email that comes, email where you have to verify a particular, you opening your email box, there will be a two-factor, there will be a number that comes to your mobile. This mobile you have to click, this mobile number you have to, this number you have to pass on, and only then the email is open. So this is called two-factor authentication. Again, I'll show it to you. Go to Google account, go to manage your account, go to security, and here you will see two-factor authentication. Enable this two-factor authentication. Whichever email ID you're using for banking purposes or any of those purposes, and add your mobile number. So each time there will be a second factor of putting a password or a code from your email account for your email account. I hope it is clear. It is
Yes,
understood.
yes.
Yeah. So this is one more trick which I showed you, and enabling two-factor authentication on your Gmail or any other email IDs which is there. So this actually adds another layer of protection to your. Next, many of us use a smartphone. Remember that don't leave a smartphone without a pattern lock or a pin lock. Generally, for the ease of who will remember the pattern, or if I forget my pin, generally as we grow old we think that we'll forget. So it is better to make a pattern than if you forget numbers. And then always enable a pattern lock or a pin lock in your smartphone. I think some of the banks today, if like I see SBI, I remember, if you have not added pattern lock or pin lock, your app only doesn't open. I think that's how it is nowadays. Change your passwords regularly. And these two things I've already said. Have I been pawned and myaristotle.com? This both these things I've already said to you. Okay. Now I'm coming to almost the fag end, so nothing to worry much. To be almost finishing. You have to any sort of a crime that happens to you. I suggest that you should report it to cybercrime.gov.in. It is a very easy, or if not, if you find it little cumbersome, ring up the number 1930. There's something called a golden hour. Let's say you passed money by your mistake to some hacker or some criminal that you've done. If you ring up within the first, I think 30 minutes or so to 1930, you may be able to get back the money because they are able to disable the transaction going forward. But you have to give them all the details, which account you passed on to, how was the crime taking place and all. So cybercrime.gov.in is a government website. It is better than many of these cybercrime police stations which are there in different states. These people have got more powers. It is a huge organization under Ministry of Home Affairs. They are well equipped to handle cybercrime. At least they get recorded, and these numbers get the numbers or the websites or these WhatsApp accounts are actually getting disabled and done away with. Secondly, concurrently, if a cybercrime was to happen in terms of money, where money is involved, it is good to pass on this information to the bank. Immediately call your bank and tell that such a transaction take place, because the call center guy is able to see the transaction that you have done. So that immediately will be able to help you in blocking or coming or getting a complaint or getting back your money in many cases. So be very cautious in keep your presence of mind, like how we saw in that crime, that video which I showed you. The person's second remittance request for second remittance actually aroused him and said, okay, now I am victim to a cybercrime. So if at all there is no redressal, there are bank ombudsmen. Now, Reserve Bank has now posted one officer from each bank, and they are ombudsmen who are supposed to take care of cybercrime complaints also, other than banking fault, wrong transaction or wrong bank statement and things like that. Even to cybercrime, these ombudsmen are prepared to take it. Yeah. So the weakest link here, I'll again tell you, is we. To be safe on the internet, we have to have our own cyber hygiene in place. What all I've told you very little, but even if you do this much, I think you will be secure on the internet. So the weakest link is due. The social engineering aspect of it is very much here. I'd like to tell you a small story. I lived in Delhi very recently, and I was part of the army cantonment. So we were all secure inside the camp, much secure. One of my friends, one of my colleagues, he was posted in the United Nations mission. He was abroad in some South African country, Rwanda, somewhere. And the lady had kept a house in Delhi. So she was allotted a house on the periphery of the cantonment. So in her exuberance, she's part of the influencer. We have these web influencers nowadays. So she's also a tech savvy, web savvy person. So on her Facebook, she posted that next week from dash to dash, from 23rd to the 29th, I'm on a holiday in Switzerland. She put a Facebook post and they traveled. You'll not believe, she came back from the trip and found her house completely ransacked and the house completely empty. So that means our social media posts are also watched by criminals. Now, how this crime took place? The day this lady moved out, they knew the exact date. They moved out. They bought in a civil security guard, and so we all, while passing the house, we thought, yeah, हो सकता है कि पैसे बहुत है, so they would have hired a security guard, a civil security guard. Now this guy slowly broke open the door and started moving out stuff and kept it towards the compound wall. And they chose a very auspicious day, bought in a chota wala truck, loaded all these items. The security also sat in it and moved away. So by the time when they came, they found the house was completely broken, locked. So our social media presence, in our exuberance, we write a lot of things, including photographs. So another very aspect which I would like to tell you here is the fact that you know we generally take a photo with a V, with a V. There are cameras nowadays, or there are provisions nowadays that can zoom in and take your pattern, your finger pattern. And once your Aadhaar number and your finger pattern is known, there's something called AEPS. I don't know how many of you have used it. It's called Aadhaar Enabled Payment System. So if I have your fingerprint, I can make a silicon dummy gummy finger out of it. And if I know your Aadhaar number, I can take money out of your bank account. which is very, very easy. And I just need your fingerprint and your bank account. Especially when we go to do registry of our property, we write the Aadhaar number, all the 12 digits, and we also write, we put our thumb impression with that blue ink which is given there. So, mind you, it is very, very, very susceptible to a hack, and you may lose money. Of course, the government of India has restricted the amount of money that is allowed on Aadhaar enabled payment system. Okay, I'd like to take you to one of the end. Have anybody who's seen this photograph? Billy? Billy is there?
No, no, he's left. He's left. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone?
Abhijit, have you
Anyone?
seen the photograph?
Anyone? No, I don't think so.
He was one of those coast residents at at Navi Mumbai. Okay, I think this building, if you would remember this building, he stayed here. This is that Gunaina Apartments in Navi Mumbai. The person's name is Kenneth Haywood. Now, why I'm showing you this picture is he got arrested for a blast at Ahmedabad. This is the guy who did this crime. When this blast took place in Ahmedabad in 2008, Mohammed Peerboy, a good engineer from Wipros, I think he was working in Wipros or something like that, a well qualified guy, he kept a laptop behind a scooter guy. He sat on a scooter as a pillion rider, kept kept a laptop and roamed around complete Mumbai. And he found out places where the Wi-Fi was open. And he sent a threatening mail or sent a mail to the police, Mumbai police, saying that we are responsible for this particular blast. And who got arrested was this poor American citizen who got arrested because his Wi-Fi was left open. So most of us use our Wi-Fi's at home. There is something called an admin login, admin password. Again, that is accessible through Wi-Fi only. Ask your service provider to give you access and change the admin password immediately. Your home Wi-Fi's that you use. Next, then you have user. Always when you install a Wi-Fi, ask your service provider to provide you what is known as SSID, that is secure socket ID. So that will appear like a name. So you can give a name to your Wi-Fi, and then you can log in with that name and password, which is normally there. But there is something called an admin password also, which is Wi-Fi enabled, which is known to the service provider because they're making the devices. It may be a Airtel router or a Hathway router or a BSNL router, whichever is there in your place, or a Geo router which is there. So they have got a default username password which is their admin, which is known to everybody. Even the hacker will know. So first log into that and change that password and enable SSID and keep watching and the number of connections that are there. It should not happen that you are providing internet to your neighbor by giving a weak password or having a default password of your Wi-Fi. So this incident actually threw a lot of light on what could happen, and he was caught and he was jailed, and of course ultimately he was released. Now, last but not the least, digital arrest. I think most of you are hearing this very often. I don't know if you heard of the incident off late in which Vardhaman Group's CEO, Mr. Oswal, got trapped and fake using AI. The police was there. Police room was shown. There was a man in civil dress as if uh, you know telling that he's from the ED, but they were showing police movement behind him to prove that this is actually a police room which is investigating when Mr. Vardhaman Mr. Oswal was. This is available on the net. You can Google and see Vardhaman Group, Mr. Oswal cybercrime. He lost 7.2 crores in a jiffy. Then Justice Chandrachud, that is the chief the Chief Justice of India came on live, and he was trying to adjudicate his case. And then all because of that, the criminal said that he's associated with Naresh Groel, the Sahara group or the Jataves guy, yeah, Jataves, and they implicated him in a criminal, of course, all fake. And then he passed around 7.2 crores, and he was under digital arrest. Do not panic when you are on a digital arrest. It will happen. It will happen to all of us. So I want to give you certain tips. Firstly, do not panic. Secondly, cut the call and then verify whether you are getting it. Third important thing, do not pass your personal. Please share your Aadhaar immediately. You would get, you're on WhatsApp call and you're on live with him, and he will tell you, please pass your Aadhaar number to me, or give me your banking details. I am from the Enforcement Directorate or Cybercrime Division or Navi Mumbai Crime Division, or Cyber Suraksha Kavach, or whatever you have in Mumbai. So this is the secondly, there is nothing called digital arrest as per Indian Penal Code or the Bharat Nyaya Sanhita, Sanhita, which is there. There is no provision for digital arrest in the Indian ecosystem. So take it, and then even if you get a number, a call from there, pass this information to the cybercrime division. Now, secondly, I'll just go through very quickly in terms of Aadhaar. Aadhaar is one of the most easiest form of information that is accessible by hackers. First and foremost, to your Aadhaar number, please link a mobile number. If you can't do it, if you have not done it now, you have to go and visit a Seva Kendra and link a mobile. Once you have done that, download the M-Aadhaar app. In the M-Aadhaar app, you can actually lock your biometrics. You can lock your Aadhaar itself. Let's say you don't want to use Aadhaar. But remember, it doesn't happen, it should not happen that you locked your Aadhaar and the bank has called you for KYC, and there you're putting your finger to do a KYC, and it is not happening because you yourself have locked your Aadhaar. Okay. Where most of the places they ask Aadhaar. But remember, giving the Aadhaar is not a threat. Those 12 digits have no significance in them. But if they link that to your personal identification, to your bank account, to your PAN, because PAN is also linked to it, then it is dangerous. So whenever you want to give a photocopy of your Aadhaar, just scratch away the first 8 digits. It's a 12-digit number. Keep the last 4 digit live and delete the rest of the 8 digit. Or from the website itself, you can download a masked Aadhaar. That is also a provision. So for that, you need to update your mobile in the Aadhaar. So where if you have not updated your mobile number, and ensure that this mobile number is live, it's very easy. You have to go to the Aadhaar Seva Kendra. It cannot happen online. You have to go to the Aadhaar Seva Kendra and always update your mobile. If you don't want to give your Aadhaar in totality, there is a provision to download a VID, virtual Aadhaar. So those virtual Aadhaars are actually 16-digit number, which is for a purpose. Let's say you want to give an Aadhaar to buy a mutual fund account. So download a VID, virtual Aadhaar, 16-digit number, give it, and after you come back, just destroy that 16-digit. You can change that 16-digit immediately. So that is also a possibility. So for that, you have to visit the website, and you have to see all the provisions. See, Aadhaar is a 12-digit number. Virtual ID is a 16-digit number. Virtual Aadhaar is a 16-digit number, which you can generate for a purpose, and then you can destroy that 16-digit. So for that particular instant, that Aadhaar is valid with the 16-digit. It is your Aadhaar with the 16-digit. Also, download the M-Aadhaar app, My Aadhaar. You can go to the Play Store, M-Aadhaar app. For that, you have to update your mobile number. Otherwise, if your mobile number is not updated, it will not get installed on your mobile. And then go through it. There are many videos on YouTube. You can know how to lock your Aadhaar. You can actually lock only the biometric so that your biometrics is safe. And never share OTP of Aadhaar to anybody, wherever it is. And Aadhaar OTPs are generally 6-digit numbers. Okay. So this is all I have. Yeah. So now that I have threatened you of frightened you, doesn't mean that you stop using internet or stop using you know your mobile devices or your laptop, or say that from now on I'll not use email only. No, that's not the case. My intention is to actually consciously, make you aware that threat is there. But then, if you're secure enough, if you're secure enough, if you're
Yeah. Hello. I think, can you hear me, sir? Colonel Binoj? Okay, we'll start the Q&A.